New York City is a very unique place. I'd say it's one of the few places on earth, if not the only place, where you can get food from all around the world in one city. But that's not really what I want to talk about today. Today I want to talk about the surrounding trains that help people like me and other people get to the city from outside of the city. Those trains are run and operated by NJTransit. Now, these trains have been up and running and getting people to and from Newark City and all around New Jersey since the early 1980s. I sometimes hate NJTransit, but it rids me of the need to drive into the city, and it's much quicker than driving. I was working in the city and I commuted very often to work, and I took the train to Newark Penn Station, and from there I'd take the PATH train to World Trade Center. It's true what they say about the subways and the degeneracy of New York City's underground transit system. But what I don't hear a lot of people talk about is the absolute chaos that is relying or just riding on NJTransit. Just like the subways, I've also seen a lot of what I can only describe as chaos on the commuter rails of NJTransit. For some reason, I have the worst luck on these trains, but sometimes it's worth it for the Simpsons-esque situations I've witnessed or experienced on these trains. I remember one time we were all deboarded at Newark Penn Station because a bull, yes, a bull, was loose on the tracks.
Chaos on New Jersey Transit rail service this afternoon. Delays were reported between Newark Penn Station and Penn Station in New York City because of this, a bull on the tracks. It was spotted near Newark's Penn Station. The bull was eventually corralled into a fenced area, and a New Jersey animal sanctuary will now recover it and care for it.
I didn't think I heard correctly on the PA, so I asked the conductor to confirm. Hey man, did I hear that correctly? There's a bull running loose on the tracks? I asked him, and he nodded his head so casually and said, "Yeah, I can't tell you how long it will take to get them out, but you heard right." I just laughed and expressed to him how ridiculous of a situation it was. And he was so unbothered by it, like he's seen worse. I waited because there was nothing else I could do. I had to make it to work. And out of the corner of my eye, I see a freaking bull running down an empty track. Scared and in distress. I felt bad for it, but I also thought to myself, this is unreal. And now I always see that bull in my head when I'm in Newark Penn Station. Newark Penn is like the uglier, dirtier version of New York Penn Station. And while I think New York Penn is making changes, it's really saying something. At least on the inside. I think the structure surrounding the rails at Newark Penn is like a time machine to what Newark once was. I think it's beautiful and just needs some TLC. Another time, while waiting to go home from the city in New York Penn, I was waiting in this area between the trams where the exits are that you aren't technically supposed to be in while the train is in motion. But these NJTransit trains, especially the rails going to and from the city, get insanely packed. So I had no choice. It was a very full train, but we were stuck on the track in New York, and I was waiting for about an hour. Standing there, wondering what was taking so long. I couldn't do anything and I had to wait, so for the sake of the story, I want to explain how these areas look. This area is almost shaped like an H. It has 4 exits, 2 doors on each side of the train, and a smaller corridor or hallway to pass through it while changing train cars. It's kind of like the NYC subways, but covered, not open. I was in the middle, waiting, and at each exit there were people around me. A man with his bike, patiently waiting. A father and son duo with Knicks jerseys on, waiting as well. A well-dressed man was also waiting in one corner, and next to him was a man doing a diabolical drug-induced lean. I'm sure you know what I mean by that. The leaner, I'll call him. The leaner was leaning, doing his thing for about an hour straight. Out of nowhere, he springs into action and makes his way through to the exit of the train. I guess he either got tired of waiting or he thought he had made it to his destination. In my opinion, it seemed he was just doing whatever he thought felt right. He stumbled to the door as best as he could, and that's when it happened. Boom! I heard, as I saw the leaner disappear over the shoulder of the well-dressed man. Whoa! He screamed, and he shook his head like he was just not impressed with what this guy was doing. The leaner had fallen in the gap between the train and the platform. Only one leg fell through, and the other was on the platform. His legs were like an upside down L, and the man struggled and no one helped him. I was far enough behind him where I couldn't help, but close enough to see what was happening. A conductor walking past sees him and helps him. She was laughing, and at this point, so was I. I think it was the reaction of the well-dressed man's "whoa" that made it so funny. It was almost comical. And the leaner wasn't hurt. He probably only lost about like 10 HP. I felt like the only one laughing, and I was trying to hold it in, but I couldn't. Lucky for me, the father and son duo, they left their little corner, and I quickly moved to claim it. And I spent about 15 minutes laughing hysterically, but in silence. From bulls running loose on the tracks, to leaners falling in gaps, to people stealing trains for joyrides, and making people like me have to take an Uber from Jersey City because everyone needed to be deboarded because someone felt like taking a train. Stealing a train. NJTransit has its fair share of characters as well. The morning commute consists of people shaving their legs and faces and all kinds of crap like that. It's a different world. People make do, and sometimes it's interesting to see. The gap in between the train and platform has claimed more people and things than just the leaner. I remember one time it was really early in the morning. It was an early morning rush, and the amount of people leaving the train is what I imagine comes up when someone Googles the rat race. Everyone was walking off the train, ready to start their days. I was behind this gentleman who was trying to grab his water bottle from his backpack. He managed to get it off while leaving the train, but then he dropped it. But this water bottle fell straight into the gap, and it had to have been a very precise drop because this gap isn't too big. He stopped in the midst of the chaos for 2 seconds. Visible anger and sadness turned to acceptance in mere seconds. I walked past the man after seeing this, and I couldn't help but laugh. It was the quintessential, it's too early for this crap kind of situation. From people urinating on chairs, to people trying to smoke on trains, and even reoccurring characters like this one lady on every morning commute that sat in the quiet car areas just to be able to shush people, even being remotely noisy. Every morning she was there. It has its own level of degeneracy. From all of that, and how unorganized the train schedules can be, it's almost entertaining sometimes. Still, if I had to ask NJTransit to change something, it would be bigger trains. I'm tired of having to stand when there's no seats, or of all these tourists taking up space with their luggage instead of using the racks made for it, or the lonesome jerks sitting in the four-seaters on full trains and blocking the other seats. We need more regulation. People get away with everything on these trains, and the conductors don't seem to care. Lucky for me, I picked up on a lot of tips and tricks, all stemming from personal experience on how to survive these trains and NJTransit. Make it a little less chaotic of an experience. It's all about knowing where to go and how to get there, and also where not to go. And maybe I'll make a video on that next. For now, I'll just say New York City subways are known for their wacky characters and impromptu behavior. I think NJTransit also takes that cake sometimes. And I hate you, NJTransit, but I also love you.